Tippy time, my damies, Top Cat here and welcome back to the channel. Choir of 1 is fully out and customizable, so this week I'm making a build for each subclass to maximize its damage output and functionality. Today we'll be looking at our hunter, but I first want to break down the weapon itself. Feel free to skip ahead if you've already watched previous breakdowns. The Choir of 1 is essentially a Wyvern's battle rifle. When aimed down sights, this special ammoed auto rifle has a 225 RPM, so its closest comparison would actually be closer to a scout than an AR. But because it's a special weapon, a lot of us are drawing a comparison to our rocket sidearms. A standard indebted kindness does 18k per shot, a choir does 12k, but even after the choir's reserve nerf, this is still a damage difference of 1.8 million. To a kindness is 990,000. But we also have to consider that fanatical lance trait. Its hipfire mode launches multiple projectiles at once in a slower spread pattern. These detonate on impact. Its total damage won't be nearly as impressive at 960,000, but it is tremendous burst damage. This is a champ stopper even at Grandmaster level. Also, with rapid final blows, we cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. Logic Reductor in the artifact can extend the lifetime of these pools. We don't need to worry about range or recoil with this weapon. Equip Fluted Barrel to give us a big chunk of handling, as this is our primary weapon. Alloy Magazine will give us those quick reloads so we can mag dump twice in a champ's face during one stun. Equip Short Action Stock so we can push that handling even further. With Targeting Autoloader when defeating targets, the choir will self-load and gain a damage buff of up to 20%. And Sustained Fire grants us a damage resist by continuously damaging our targets. This works particularly well on that hipfire burst mode, granting us up to 25% DR almost instantly. For our final trait, I'm not going to be picking Subsistence, at least not with our current artifact options. I'm not vibing Onslaught either. I don't feel speeding up the fire rate achieves all that much, as the Choir of 1 acts a lot more like a scout scissorbang to merciless than a traditional AR. So for my money, I'm leaning towards destabilizing rounds. Final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile. This AoE effect pairs perfectly with those radiolarian pulls to trigger more damage easily. Now, as this is a special weapon with a primary weapon utility, we do need to consider our reserves. I found running Finders on my helmet wasn't ideal, as I wanted to run triple harmonic siphon to maximize orb output. So I'm running stacks on my legs to give us 2 armor charges for the price of 1. We pair that with the special ammo finisher. This way we've got 3 armor charges. I can manufacture ammo for both myself and my fire team, making double special builds a lot more comfortable. Being that this is an extremely strong void weapon, I wanted to make the most of our artifact traits, and my hunter is going to be running the prismatic kit. We'll be using our exotic class item. Our first toy will be Spirit of the Foe Tracer. When we debuff HVTs, we get a tier 4 weapon surge. At 25%, this is stronger than 3 mods on our kicks. This has a 10-second timer on it, more than enough time to delete those champions. The elemental surge will be tied to the ability used. So as Choir is a void weapon, our primary asset will be those smoke bombs. These will also weaken and disorientate, giving us a further 15% weapon damage bonus. With Facet of Dawn, our melees grant us Radiant for 5 seconds. Now the plus side of using our smoke bombs is this does do tick damage, so our Radiant buff can extend out to 9 seconds. We're going to be running the Gambler's Dodge, so we've always got one of these combo buffs on deck. A standard mag dump is 160k. With our Foe, Weaken and Radiant combo, off the back of 1 smoke bomb, this jumps to 311,000. This is plenty of power to take down the biggest of those weight watching targets. But we'll also be boosting our trash mob clearing. With Stylish Executioner, when we kill debuff targets, we are granted invisibility. This is all our targets affected by those smoke bombs and the choir's destabilizing rounds. But we are going to go full kitchen sink by adding Spirit of Gerfalcons. When emerging from our invisibility, our choir is granted volatile rounds for 8 seconds. This timer will reset each time we go invisible. So now the entire battlefield will be covered in those purple space aids. I'm also utilizing that strand grapple melee. This will add unravel particles for more AoE damage. It too will make us go invisible, and with facet of bravery, grenade kills give our choir volatile, and melee kills will give our strand weapons unravel. This way every enemy is going to make us go invisible. With facet of hope, this decreases our class ability cooldown when we are invisible. This way we use that gambler's dodge to give us smoke bombs when we need them against those champs and mini bosses. I'm running the threaded spectre. These form when we dodge, making it so when we are visible, they don't see us, just our copies. My mate Archer here was constantly shocked by how our enemies just straight up ignored me as they shot my copies. These will also add to our darkness damage to help balance out our transcendence bars. With faceted protection we get damage reduction whilst we are surrounded. At standard this is 15% DR, with transcendence this jumps to 32%. We are running trip siphon mods so we always have orbs about. My last fragment is purpose to give us either health or damage resist based off of our super. I've been running tether but dealer's choice. Bow tracer will activate on super hits, so you could also buff your choir, or alternatively a heavy of your choice. Feel free to pause here for all my mods, build stats and artifacts, but there will be a dim link in the description down below. Of my 3 choir builds, this is definitely the strongest in terms of mini boss damage and ag clear. What it does lack in survivability, it will make up with evasiveness. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you have a better class combo? Make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time my damies, what a tie.